call is now being recorded.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Anything about any idea about what are the things?
Also management important.
Sorry.
Sir, we discuss about the factors that are influencing or contributing the productivity
Factors
uh,
influencing the
or contributing
productivity.
to the productivity.
Factors influencing or contributing the productivity. So, what are the factors? What are the different factors that were influencing the both your contributing or influencing productivity? What are the factors? Different factors we studied in last class.
Like working hours, efficiency of labor,
Mm.
transportation, efficiency of machines, and then we discuss about
Okay.
factors related to product design,
Okay.
in which there are standardization of components, quality
Okay.
standards,
Mm.
then factors related to process design for increase in productivity,
Okay.
in which we discuss specification of operating condition, interaction
Okay.
between man and machine must be
Mm.
proper, like that.
Okay.
And
So
then
these are
we
the,
at
yeah.
last we form the flowchart of role of management in coordinating resources.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So these are the few things what we were discussing in last class about factors contributing or increasing the productivity. So and we were studying about the few resources which are used in coordinating with the they be used in the management for coordinating with the resources. What are the different conditions? Like where we have both four basic components: land building material, plant, machine or equipment, men or work, and how they are being coordinated in the management field, and how it is being done with different organization. Maybe it's a banking sector, it might be in a production sector, or it is a service oriented sector, like how these things are being done to get your final product as an output. So this is what we were discussing in last class. So now we will start with the one more component, that is factors affecting productivity. So earlier we were discussing about what are the factors that is supporting or contributing to productivity. Now we'll discuss few factors that are affecting the productivity, which is gradually going to reduce your productivity. So more than what we know, like what is going to add your resources, you should be very well, you should have well versed knowledge about what are the factors that is going to degrade your production, because they are going to be the process or the threshold which is going to reduce the actual calculation or the prediction or the forecast whatever you have made, based on the several influencing factor which is going to drag or drive the force, drag the driving force of the production process. So those things we will be discussing in this particular session. So basically, if you check with that, like what are the factors that will be affecting the productivity, is like each production element, like each production element which was mentioned about, maybe it is like about the labor or the material or the land or the man, everything will have the an impact of productivity. Say if you ask like how this can be related with affecting the productivity, you have excess demand, but still you have only limited space where you can store only limited raw material and you can process limited resources. In that condition, land, which is going to be one of the element of the production process, that is going to completely affect your production sequence or productivity, because you have a limited land which cannot acquire more input component or a raw material or the facility to support the production process whatever is required. So right, men or material, how this is going to actually impact. Okay, you have limited material, but the excess man, what you will do, you can work only for 2 hours, rest 6 hours will be waste of time because you don't have any material, right? You have excess material, you have excess demand, but you have only 4 people. Say, consider like you have to produce 40 component, and you need minimum 10 people for producing 40 component, and you have only 8 people turning off to the particular job. So 2 are going to be delayed. In that condition, what you have to do is, as a manager or an industrial engineer, you have to allot extra time or overtime for the rest of the 8 employees to attain your target. If not, you are not doing that particular thing, obviously your production time or productivity is going to be reduced. Again, when you go for man, material, labor, and what is the one more thing? What's one more thing? One more
Machine.
basic machine, of course. So when you are going
Machine
with the
equipment.
machine, yeah, when you are going with the machine, what is going to happen is you are going to have only one machine which is going to do all the processes, and you should know when that machine will fall under repair, and you should have always a backup to support that thing. So that's why when you go for a company, you have 10 machines running in a sequence, and you have at least 1 or 2 machine a backup, so that if anything at any point is getting defective or under malfunctioning, or it is going for maintenance, that particular process sequence will be completely replaced with other machine which will support the production process to reduce the factors that have been affected for getting the proper productivity output. So these are the different aspects naturally how your productivity can be affected. So earlier we were discussing about how the design or the conception or the man labor that can increase the productivity. Now in this particular sequence, we will study only about the factors that are completely playing a role on affecting the production process. So these are the basic components that will be affecting the production process. Each element, it can be like each and every element what we discuss that can directly or indirectly influence the production process, or on other hand, what it can do also, two process club together when both men and material are less. Obviously, you have excess land, obviously, you have excess machine, but your production is going to be less. You have excess material and men. You have minimum land where you can store only minimum material, and you have minimum machineries where you can process only minimum material. Again, that is also going to have. So the factors affecting productivity can be all these 4 components, which can individually or club together makes a cost that reduce the production process. That is, these are going to be the factors influencing, and major factors will be discussed as internal factors and external factors. So what do you think about this internal or external process? What are the things that can control your production process? Internal process, what that might be, what might be the external process?
Internal processes are with plant manufacturing
Okay.
and
Yeah.
but with
Action just like weather.
Sorry? Whether
So like climate change.
that may not be
Climate
your
change.
internal component, right?
So external factor may be the
I am
availability of raw
external.
materials.
Uh, those comes with external material, or your supply or logistic, that all goes with external. What will be your internal factors that is going to affect your production process?
Like machines and labors
Exactly, machines, labors,
and
hmm,
management.
Raw materials,
management, yeah,
Quality of
raw
skilled
materials.
skilled
persons.
labors, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, raw materials also, when you consider it to be internal, it comes with internal thing, yeah. Because you need internal raw material to process. If you don't have material, you cannot process it, right? So these are the basic things that can be right. So on listing this, when you think about internal, what are the factors that can be affecting us? First comes the managers. If the managers are not proper, that is you people who are going to manage the production process, if you are not proper, obviously the productivity is going to be less. So you are the prime most concern if the productivity is going to be less because you don't know how to manage the concern. Simple. Then, of course, the way of management. What is this way of management, sir? What do you interpret from this? What is the way of management that will affect your productivity? Way of
like
management
the
is
imbalance
Plan.
between the labor and the manager, something like that.
interaction or plan and execution. The gap between all this is going to be the way of management which is going to affect your production process directly. If you don't have a proper interaction or if you don't have a proper frequency, like you are egoistic and he is more egoistic, he don't want to work on your words and you don't want to work on his words, there comes the major problem. So the major factor will be in way of management will be the ego between the workers, like whatever how they are going to be dealing. It is from the manager and the low level workers what is going to be how you are going to convey the process everything. So this comes with your first to your manager, then from your thing to how the communication is being processed, the way you manage, then comes your co-workers. How the co-workers can affect the productivity? How the co-workers can affect the productivity?
Sir, who are co-workers?
You cannot say you can say co-workers as like people who are working in your same stream. So if you consider our college, like faculty will be co-workers, staffs will be co-workers, faculty and staffs will not be co-workers. So in that condition, managers will be manager and supervisor will be co-workers who are assigning the task, and low-level laborers like who are working on the stuffs will be co-workers. These two people will not be co-workers.
Not cooperate with you.
Don't
Do not
cooperate. What
cooperate
they will
with
do?
uh, plans and not cooperate with your thought
Okay.
plan, or you will not add them.
Hmm. I'll put you a straightforward thing. Gossiping. Hey bro, yesterday na that guy he went there. He was doing all the stuffs. Yeah, it started like that, and for half an hour he keep on progressing. You don't concern about what is happening here. You just keep on speaking. Arey, this is what is happening. Yeah. So obviously, whatever is going to happen, your productivity will not be focused. That is why if you go for assembly or high level production unit, what they used to do is they put the man in front of the machine where they have to continuously do like this. They cannot turn so that they will miss some component. They have to continuously do like this. This process will be there continuously just to avoid the interaction between human during the working process, because all the instruction will be given before the process and few people will be more eager to know what others are doing mistake, what mistake he is doing, what mistake he is doing, rather than concentrating on what he is supposed to do. So these problems will be there mostly with the co-workers. What you will do is you will be more focused on finding what is happening to the next door or what is happening with the next people, rather than giving your production process in a proper way. And there are few crazy people who will complete their job completely and mock others. Like they will pull someone, like after completing their job, if the turn is like for producing around 8 components, they will complete. They are too much good. They will complete the process, then they will go to next person. Bro, what is happening? Hi here, what is happening? What is going on? This is happening in my home, like this, that. We'll go for this, we will do that. After this, we will go for this. So all this problem will comes with co-worker. Then yes, your rules and regulations of the company. How the rules and regulations of the company will reduce the productivity? How the rules and regulations will
You
be,
know, restrict idea.
sorry, sorry,
They will really restrict idea, innovative idea, new idea.
okay.
How innovation.
Any other guesses? What is the rules and regulation? How the company can get reduced with your productivity?
Like the employees can be made to their holidays, like holidays are there, so that will be maybe most of the staff is on holidays, so by this productivity automatically decrease
Yeah.
because labor is less.
Yeah, that
So
comes
that's
with your working days. That is also a factor. Yeah, that I completely agree. Number of working days, that is going to define how your productivity is getting affected. If you have around 4 cycle per day or 7 per week or 6 cycle per week, so based on that, this will be completely affected. But I'm speaking only about rules and regulations of the company.
So it is related to time, like the company have rules that you have to come at this certain time, then they have to come before it,
Mm, 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 mm,
they
But how that
can.
will affect the productivity? That's what my question is. How that is going to affect productivity? If you are put on, like, you have to work on this particular time, it is good, right? What is the factor that is going to affect from rules of the company that
So if
like,
the employees will come late, then it will also decrease the productivity.
okay, then
Uh, so sir, rule says that you have to come to time at
mm,
time.
uh,
Then obviously
okay,
it will
as a
increase.
manager, what you will do if he one guy is like coming daily late? What do you will do with him?
Fire, sir.
Of course. So he will not come late. Simple. Yeah, simple, very simple. Because you want to get your productivity, you can warn him once, and you can excuse him twice, and third time you have to fire him. No other go, because you want your product to be done. You cannot be legible or what do you call uh, what do you call lethargy? Oh, sorry. Quite leisure. You cannot handle accept things as that. Being a manager, you can go with it. So that is obviously you will be fired. So that will not comes under rules and regulations of the company. What else can be the rules and regulations of the company?
Fine.
Sorry.
Sir, fine.
Working hours.
Okay, if you are
Get the
putting
penalty.
fine, that is going to
Yes, sir.
if you are putting fine, that is going to reduce the productivity. Why you are going to put fine? Just be clear with that. Why you are going to put fine?
Sir, if we put fine, then they will be punctual.
So everything, whatever you are doing is a threat. You are going to fire him, you are going to punish him, you are going to fine him. Do you think people will be still more lethargic so that they will not follow all the constraint whatever you are giving? And of course, I'm
But
speaking only about Indians.
sir, in
So
today's time, no one gets punctual except for fine threat.
Hmm. So if they are getting fired, do you think they will not be punctual?
Sir, first we will think of fine, not directly firing them.
Hmm. I'm just asking about some other rules which is completely changing the today's scenario. Just think about the big corporate. What are the change in rules they are having? Think
so
about big corporates like Google, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook.
so it could be the like behavior among the employees,
Ah,
good behavior, and
okay,
making an environment.
okay.
so it may be the maximum number of working hours for the employees, because by that the productivity automatically decrease if they're working for less hours. That is if it's under rule.
Cool. It's a good valid point. This is what right now it's a proven technique where most of the countries are going for 4 days working and 3 days off, right? So it is not about how much time you are working. It is about how efficiently you are working on a stipulated time. If you are working for 6 days, you will get some productivity as output. Same output can be done with 4 days. So they came with a solution. Why to stress them for 6 days and give them one day off, and so that they will also get stressed, they will not also perform well. Instead, go for 4 days working and 3 days rest, where they are able to achieve the same efficiency, right?
Sir,
Then,
we
then,
can
then, then, then,
also give some
then.
good employee benefits, additional benefits.
Exactly. Good employee benefits. It's like you are giving them excess workload, but you are not supporting them with any cost. Your rule says if there is a production lag, you have to increase the production hour, but you don't have the rule to increase the incentive. Right. Then, yeah, good. Go with the flow.
So giving the comfort to the other employees, like one of the employees is smoking in the office, then it will create discomfort to other employees. So obviously it will decrease the productivity.
So you should have strong rules and regulation like smoking or drinking is banned inside the premises. Or if you are drunk, you will not be allowed inside the premises. Good, yeah. Then this is about social relation. How we are going to sophisticate others. Yeah. Then apart from that,
Sir, if there are some rules like you may not take leave when you are sick, then it will directly affect the productivity.
exactly, if you don't have like whenever you are not feeling well, if you are not given with the proper how to say proper comfort, you
Rest
will not
or
feel like working.
medicine.
Obviously, you will not feel like working. Maybe like I directly admit with this, I directly go with the process. I accept this completely because that's how you make your employee mentally stable with your company. Yeah, good. Then I'm just expecting only one thing from you all people, which is completely changing the corporate system right now.
No mobile phones during working hour.
Sorry, come again.
No mobile phones during working hours.
Yeah, this is also there. No mobile phones during working hours. This is right now followed in 90% of the company if you are in private sector. Unless until you are in a higher position. No worker will be given with a mobile. 90% of the companies are following this. Then, so we have to take in other way. Like what are the rules and regulation to affect the productivity? You are free to use mobile, of course it is going to reduce the productivity. You cannot take leave, of course it is going to reduce the productivity. You can smoke inside the premises, of course it is going to get distracted with the other people. You can good apply like you can like work at any time, like even one job you can do for 10 days, it is again going to reduce the productivity. You can work for 10-15 hours, we don't have any problem, like again it is going to affect the productivity. And the prime most thing I was expecting is educational qualification rather than the skill set of a person. Do you have any comments on this? If not, I can give a brief comment on that. Educational qualification or skill set of a person who is going to do particular job.
Yeah, we should prefer skill rather than
So skill
qualification.
is also important.
Sorry? Do you think qualification is more important for getting a particular output done?
No, sir. Skill is.
No, so skill
So,
is very important.
Sir, both are
so
important.
Education
Sir, both are important,
and
but
Both are
skill is more important.
But in
But
but
what is the benefit of
it do,
education if someone is not able to make it in real life?
no, I'll just explain you from your thing why education is important, why skill set is important. I just need a blind answer from you. Do you think education is important or skill set alone is okay?
both are important.
Sorry, Rama.
Both of them are important.
Both are important. Okay. How many feel skills alone is okay to run the job?
Sir, if a person is educated, I mean educated, not literate, he will be punctual and he will be dedicated to his work,
Okay. Do
and
you
that's
think illiterate
important.
people will
And
not be punctual and dedicated to work? This I cannot agree because
sir, I am saying educated, not illiterate or literate.
okay, no, educated people will be punctual and uneducated people will not be punctual.
That's what we say about uneducated people. We don't mean by uneducated he doesn't know how to read and learn.
Uh,
It shows their etiquettes.
So do you, is there anyone who want to support this term? Like if uneducated or illiterate people do not be punctual and do not follow the norms. Is it so?
No.
No.
No,
Blind,
sir.
no. No, blind, no. Because there are too many people who are good in administration, those who don't know how to read and write. And they are very much punctual than the people who has high level of education system. Highly educated
So,
also. Yeah.
so let me correct him. He doesn't mean educated in regard with learning and reading. He is educated
Ah.
in learning the
Yes,
rules.
manners and all that.
He's
No,
not illiterate who
it
doesn't
comes
know
with
how to
no,
read
it
and write.
comes with practice, right? If you are saying him, you have to, because I cannot accept this. I have a cook. He says like I'll come by 7 to 8:30. I'll prepare food and go. We keep our door always open, like we don't lock inside. I usually get up at 8:30. He comes home by 7. While I'm getting up, he completes all his work and go. He doesn't know how to do things, but he's still punctual. He's good in doing works. He's good in
That means
managing
he's
this.
educated in that regard.
Ah, no, that cannot be education, na? So education is a blind term which completely define your degree or the qualification what you have. That is what
Sir,
is all about
I
education.
don't think that means education,
Ah,
degree and all that.
mm.
So education is not only degree. It's all. It's also about the way of talking. Like you are talking to other,
Yeah.
interaction with others, and
Ah,
also like the way of understanding feelings of other and taking
ah,
action according to that. That's
ah.
all in education.
Okay,
Not
this I
not
completely
only
agree.
degree.
If you say this as education, I'll
Yes, sir.
completely agree this.
That's why I meant.
But
That's why I used literate and illiterate, sir.
okay, no, that's what I'm saying. It cannot be generally defined as illiterate or literate. That's why what we started the argument. Then what do you think about people those who are good in skill set? They cannot do anything.
Yes,
Sir, they can
the
do more.
skilled ones,
Ah.
you know, particular, they have a practice of it. They can, uh,
Do you know the youngest employee
they
in
can make
Google
changes in that.
whose monthly salary is 60 lakh per month, who got appointed by Google or Microsoft before 2 3 years? The youngest software engineer who was just 9 or 11 years old. Sorry, 9th or 11th. No, he was around 12 years old. Yeah, 12 or 13, something like that. I'm not sure. The youngest employee of the corporate whose per month salary is around 60 lakhs. He don't have any grade qualification. He has not even completed SSLC or your junior college plus 2 or any BE or BSc, nothing. But his salary in the corporate is around 60 lakh per month. Now you say me, is education more important? I'm asking.
Sir,
Hello.
what? Sir, what?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now
sir.
you say
What?
me, education is important or not?
Important, sir.
How?
Yes, sir.
Define,
No, he
define.
is
Education is
not.
most
You have to
important
justify, na?
because
I told at 12,
and
12 to 13-year-old guy who was hired by a MNC with a salary of 60 lakh per month. You can Google it. You will find his video in YouTube. His interview also in YouTube. He was given with a package of 60 lakh per month. Who has not even completed SSLC or plus 2 or BE or BSc, no degree, nothing. But he is getting a pay of around 60 lakh per month. Because he acquired a better skill in Python. He can do anything with coding. Anything in the sense anything.
Sir, we cannot take the exception.
We cannot take the exception.
case, sir, one or two guys in world got at the 60 lakh package, then I can't accept it.
You know,
Okay, now when you say this, I'll come to you directly. I'll come to you directly. Neeraj Gupta, right? Gold in Olympics, huh? Right?
Yes, sir. Neeraj
Neeraj
Chopra.
Chopra.
Neeraj Chopra, sorry, that's what I was asking. Neeraj Chopra. Huh. Gold in Olympic. Do you know what is the impact he made in India with his only skill set? Because if you think education is the only job, then skill set cannot be thing. I just want to prove you here, education is something which is going to teach you the skill set. But what is the difference between education and skill set is, if a person is good in skill set, he can do only one job for rest of his life and he will be perfect in it. And if you are educated, you can be trained with different skill set.
Sir, education is the medium up to generate the different skills.
Cool. That is the total aspect what I want to convey here. So you cannot generally define if a person is having a better skill set, that alone will not promote him to a better person or to obtain a better job. That is also possible. But what is the only difference between skill set and education for getting a better thing is, if you are educated, you can acquire too many skills and you can be used in too many aspects. If you are skilled, your things are limited, and if you are good in it, you will be shining. If you are a good actor, if you have a good acting skill, you don't want anything, you will earn in crores. If you are a good, like what do you call player, like Neeraj Chopra, you will be good athlete where your skill set is the only potential what you have to drive your life. But when you are getting educated, you will be getting trained with a lot of skill sets where the education is a medium to choose or to understand in which you are good in. It is not like mechanical engineering is a part where everyone will be doing the same job. Someone will be doing on design, someone will be doing on manufacturing management, someone will be doing on manufacturing, someone will be discussing on thermal, someone will be doing on simulation. These are the different skill sets which are put together in an education system in order to make you realize or understand which you are good in, to make you self-realize which you can sign better in your life. So that is the basic difference between education and skill set. And right now, most of the company is not concerned more about the education or qualification. Rather, they are working on the skill set of a person because they just want that particular job to be done for the entire life by a particular person. Simple. They don't want a person to be used for different thing, because education is something which is going to teach you different skill set, where if you have already acquired a skill set, they don't want to spend most of their time or most of their money on educating you to get a particular skill set acquired to do a particular job, because at the end of the day you have to do a particular job from a concern. So that is all required is. So this is how your skill set and education is varied, and I just want to relate that to the rules and regulations of the company, because now most of the company has drawn out this education or qualification. Rather, if you see most of the advertisement, they will say you should have 2 to 3 years of experience in AutoCAD or this or that. They are not specifying any degree, and this degree is just to scrutinize people. It's a rejection process, not a selection process. Degree is just a medium of mere eligibility. You comes with a category, you comes with a premier category where you have already educated how to obtain the skill set, so you can be trained very easily than a person who is not educated. That is the only skill set, that is the only thing to obtain your skill set. But this is not right now in any of the company. Like most of the companies rule don't consider about India. I'm speaking about the international standard, what is being done in most of the companies. Even in few companies in India, they started adapting to this technology. 90% of the private are doing this. They don't want education or qualification to be the criteria for selecting a person. Rather, they just need a skill set. Okay, how we are getting job in your placement? Just because you have a better CGPA? Do you think so?
No, sir.
Definite no, because they don't want your CGPA. They just want what will be your input to the company after you join the company. Based on the education, what are the skills that you have acquired? How that skill sets can be directly utilized by them. This is the only concern what is being happening, and these are the things which, if you are going to start a company and if you feel only educated, be graduate or MA graduate or diploma holders can do a particular job, obviously you are going to be in loss. Because if a person who have not known anything, but he is merely like he just know how to read the diagram, read the drawing and do the machining process, that is the skill set required for your complete manufacturing process, where there you don't want high level of thinking or critical thinking process to entirely go the thing. Now you could understand what is the difference between education and skill set, why there are too many people working on a product and only very few people working on the process. Because this educated people can be trained, or critically thinking can be happen with this educated people to optimize the process. But where the skilled people, they can only do the process, they cannot think beyond that. They will be perfect in doing things, but they can't think beyond that. These are the different factors in internal things that will directly influence the productivity, right? Then about there are few more things. Wait, I'll just quickly write down it. Factors affecting productivity of labor. That is all about factors affecting productivity. This is about factors affecting productivity of labor. Productivity of labor, and in this it is about interest, what you have towards the particular task. Then motivation, what you gain to complete a particular task. Then satisfaction, if we are going to, what is the satisfaction means, there will be two type. That is, when you complete a job you have a self-reliance, and other components are you are getting a good salary, and if you are going to do a risky job, you are insured so that you have a better safety things, so you will be feeling happy to work on, even if anything is going to happen, your family is safe. So then development and training. So if we are going to do a particular job, there is no requirement of development and training. But if you are going to alter the process and improve the operation, optimization, you have to train your employee. Like if they are not trained or developed, like they will not have much effectivity. Then fifth one is career vision. And now these things are done earlier by the company. Now the company is focusing more on career vision. Now most of the companies are offering part-time educational opportunity, because most of the people right now are not sticking to the company, because you're getting paid better, you are getting sophistication, everything is fine, but your growth is not there. There are people who joined with the mere 10th standard, then they pursue their ITA or diploma, then their BE, then their ME, then their PhD. So their career improvement keeps on going. So upgrading. So if you are not giving any scope for upgrading, there will not be scope for increasing your productivity. So these are the direct factors which will directly impact on the productivity of the labor. Then there is few more. These are the internal factors that affects the productivity of the labor. When you think about the external factors, there are again few many things that are going to affect the productivity of the labor. So what are the things is country rules. You will have too many rules in your country which is going to affect the productivity of the labor. You cannot travel, this COVID restriction, blah blah, all those days. And economic situation. So there is a rise in economic shortfall in economic condition. All your price got increased, but you still get a less salary. So of course, like, you will not be more interested in working in that company. You will be checking like where to work further because you want to increase the income. So this is one of the external factor. Of course, other comes traffic. When you want to travel, like, this is going to be one more factor. And family, because when you are more focused on family, you cannot have maximum productivity. And of course, the distance between workplace and house. This is why most of the NIT, IIT and IIMs are residential campus. You have the flexibility to work at any time in your thing. If you want to work on research, if you are doing only 9 to 5 job, you cannot focus anything more. Frankly admitting, like, till now I have submitted around 4 projects, total costing of around 3 crore rupee till now. Like, so all the works that we work together in late nights, like, so if I'm staying outside, if I'm traveling here only from 9 to 5, I'm not doing anything. If I'm not having the flexibility, like, I cannot do anything much beyond. So the distance between your workplace and house, that actually matters in your productivity of the labor. Then about the work culture, how it is going to be defined. You should feel like, because as I was always saying, like, you should have the freedom of your thoughts. So that is always required. Then healthcare, because if you are not given with proper healthcare, obviously, like, again, that is going to directly impact on your productivity of the labor. Then population, this will have both positive as well as negative, because if you are highly populated and you have very less job, it is negative. If you are less populated and more jobs are there, and again negative. It should be a balance, like, you have better population and you have better job market available, where in this population for our country is much negative, because we don't have even 10% of that job for the graduate people. Why, if 1000 are getting graduated, only 100 jobs are available in market, rest 900 are struggling to get their job. So over a period of time, some job they are getting over period, and you could find lot of people doing business, something several different things. So these are the external factors that are going to affect the productivity of the labor. Then comes factor affecting machine's productivity. What are the different factors that are affected by in machine during productivity? Factors affecting machines productivity. Of course, first comes the technology. Now IoT based for industry 4.0, everything is automated, and you don't want to do anything with your machines directly. You can sit in a place or somewhere wherever you want, like, you can go for somewhere, like, you can sit somewhere and control everything by means of technology to control the product output, which is, if that technology is not upgraded on product, of course, like, there is always a defect in productivity, because there should be a person who is going to the yard directly and operating everything, has to control everything. There will be always factors that will be affecting productivity based on technology. Durability, how durable your process is going to be, how capable the process is going to get your things done. Then comes your maintenance, how the maintenance is actually done with the process. So if a machine is going for maintenance for months long, then obviously it is going to affect the productivity of the process. Here again comes labor, because he is the operator of the machine. So that's what I was saying, like, if this is not proper, if the technology is not incorporated, obviously it is going to affect the productivity. Then proper workplace, If you are not comfortable with the workplace, of course, like again, that is going to affect the productivity. Then comes economic situation. How does this economic situation comes into machine productivity? Any idea on this economic situation? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Repairing,
Sorry.
Find your budget by your
repairing of
machine.
machines.
Yeah. So if you want to repair a machine, you want to buy the spare parts. So based on the economic situation, all this component cost is going to be raised. So that will also again affect the factors. I mean, in your machine productivity. Then final thing is operating hours. If a machine is running 24/7, there will be some output. If a machine is run for 8 hours and given a gap of around 2 to 3 hours, again it is running, the efficiency will be varying completely. So this is how the factors, the different factors, how that affects the machine's productivity. Okay, now we'll study about the factors that affects the system productivity. Factor affecting the system productivity. So again, when you come with your technology, that will be the process which is controlling the complete system, because if the system is manual, again there will be going to be some flaws which is going to affect the productivity. If it is completely integrated and automated based on technology control, of course it is going to have a better impact on the productivity. So that comes with your technology. Then comes your operators of the technology. It is not about like you have the technology, but you should have a skilled operator to operate the technology, to use the technology effectively to run the enterprise proper. So if your operator is not efficient, again that is also going to have impact on the production process in the system. Then maintenance, and more than maintenance and updates. What is the updates you are going to have on the system, like what to improve the efficiency of the system or the mobile? You have continuous updates in every software. Same way, for upgrading or uplifting the machine performance, you keep on updating things, like you'll add something to reduce the shock load or vibration which is happening, or wear which is happening, or burnout which is happening. All this has to be done. And finally, connection stability and power. And power supply. Because if you don't have uninterrupted power supply, whatever you plan for producing from a system, the output will not be there, because shortage of connection stability, like you have lagging of like the non-stability of 2-phase and 3-phase keeps on changing. So again there will be a drop in few machines cannot be done, and there is a power shutdown. Again there will be some impact which is happening. So these are the major factors that affects the productivity of the system. And finally we have as an external component factors affecting the productivity of delivery system. This comes with your supply chain management. Factors affecting the productivity of delivery system. So this comes with the type of delivery machine. It can be a man or something like the logistic what you are going to use. It can be like now Amazon has gone with the automated drone deposit of supply chain. So something, the delivery machine whatever you are using. Then again here also you comes with maintenance of the machines whatever you are using. So if the logistic machine which you are not you are using is not maintained properly, again that is going to have an impact. Again machine users, those who are operating those machines for delivery, if they are not improper, again it is going to have an impact. Then fuel stability. If the fuel price is going to increase, again the delivery cost is going to increase, which is going to reduce the increase the transportation cost and reduce the profit, again where you have to compromise on productivity. That is also will have the compromise on productivity. And then you have few things on storage systems. Then this is internal storage system, internal, and in common you have warehouses where you can have at a particular place where you can get all the material. And then of course if you are going to use some transports, you have to have drivers, and of course finally the traffic situation. So these are the process which will affect the productivity in delivery system. So these are applicable for the Amazon or Flipkart or Swiggy or Zomato or Pizza, whatever the delivery system, like they have to deliver a particular component or an output. So these are the different factors that affects the delivery system. The productivity of the delivery system can be affected by these many processes. So these are the internal and external factors that completely affect the productivity of the system. Any doubt till this?
No, sir.
No, sir.